to be vaccinated. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us here for the news at noon. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Sarah French. The pick is in, and Bryce Young officially the Panthers' newest quarterback. Right now, the Alabama quarterback has landed in Charlotte. We've shown you that video today. He will walk the blue carpet and be formally introduced to the Panthers.
WCNC Charlotte's Richard Gervais now live there at the stadium. So, Richard, any sightings quite yet?
Yeah, we haven't seen him yet, but you can tell it's about to happen any moment. They're getting pretty amped up here, as you can see. And I saw Sir Perk back there. I asked him, did he know when he was going to arrive? He's just looked at me and smiled. I guess it was smile. It was that thing he does all the time. Anyway, a lot of fans are excited about this. This is the red carpet. I don't know if Ruby can show you where it is. He's high atop the rafters, and I'm down here in the crowd. Not the mosh pit, but the crowd of Panthers fans. Come on, turn around, turn around, turn around. Where'd you come from? Where'd you come from?
Charlotte.
These guys will keep coming from far away. Excited about today?
I am. Can't wait to welcome Bryce.
You're ready to welcome Bryce. You know he's here. It's just a few moments away. What do you think he's going to mean? And take a picture. They're taking a picture at the same time. And what is he going to mean for the Panthers?
He's going to bring us a couple Super Bowls, hopefully.
A couple of Super Bowls, hopefully. That's the excitement. He's going to come through this mouth. As you see, we are, as you can hear in the background, they're getting ready to make that announcement because in just a few short moments, Bryce Young is going to come through that Panthers mouth. He's going to walk down the blue carpet, greeting his fans, and then he's going to hit that drum, keep pounding. That's what it's all about. A lot of fans excited out here. Of course, we'll have complete coverage when he arrives. I guess we're going to break in whenever he shows up, right, guys? I'm just trying to do a little producing on the side here. Anyway, Ruben takes some more shots of this crowd. Everyone getting excited. It's amped up here. We're going to send it back to you, but we'll be ready whenever he comes through that big cat mouth, the Panther mouth.
Okay, the Panther
Wow.
mouth. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, we definitely will bring that to you live.
Richard, it's also incumbent on you about letting us know when it happens. So just be sure you're talking to our producers. Richard, thanks. We continue our live team coverage right now with sports reporter Ashley Stroline. And Ashley, you're there at the stadium. You basically spent almost the entire part of the last 24 hours there at the stadium. I think you've had a cot there that you've slept on.
How did you know? I actually didn't leave. We just camped out here overnight. Me and my photog, Paul Thorson, we said, why would we leave? We're right back here early this morning. But when I was arriving to get back over here ahead of today's festivities, I can tell you those fans that Richard are partying with, they were already lined up outside the North Gate. They are so excited to welcome Bryce Young here to Carolina, to the Queen City, to be a part of the Carolina Panthers, where they hope he is going to help turn this franchise around. And going back to last night, when it comes to General Manager Scott Fitterer and the front office and the Tepper's decision to draft Bryce, they told us ultimately he was the guy, and they felt like he was from the beginning. But with each meeting, he just continued to impress and continued to wow them. And it was really at that dinner at his pro day where they asked him, hey, what's your practice habits throughout the week? They said Bryce started on Sunday, and about 10 minutes in, he had only gotten to Tuesday. That's when they all kind of looked at each other and had that aha moment, like, this guy is the real deal. He's so young. He's coming in as a rookie, but he already has the habits of a veteran. So it was without hesitation, they called his name last night, and a lot of people, I think, felt like Bryce probably knew he was coming to Carolina ahead of time because that's what we all were saying. But the fact of the matter is, they didn't let Bryce or his agent know ahead of time that they would be calling his name with that #1 pick. And when it came down to it, David Tepper made the call.
You do. You remember in Arizona's Super Bowl when I told you we were going to pick a quarterback this year? We're not going to wait till next year?
Yes, I do remember that.
Remember that conversation? I wasn't kidding. I wasn't kidding. So you want to trade us from sweet home Alabama for some sweet Carolina?
I can't wait.
All right, well, we're so excited to get you. I mean, we really are excited to get you, you know.
All right, of course, Sweet Caroline, the song you hear here at Bank of America Stadium after every Panthers win, and we certainly hope to be hearing that a lot this season. But the team did say, hey, look, we know it's going to take some time to develop, some time to adapt to being in the NFL, so we're going to let Bryce earn that starting spot. Fitterer was asked about it, and he said, we'll know when the time is right to make him our starting quarterback. We'll see how things go this offseason through rookie minicamp, training camp, all of those things, but everyone's super excited, and I can tell you the energy. I was at voluntary minicamp earlier this week. The energy with the vets that were here, the new coaching staff, it's just different. The energy last night with the fans here at Bank of America Stadium is full of hope, and it's been great to see a rough few years for this franchise, but right now this stadium, this city, this team, full of hope for what's to come. Ben and Sarah.
All right, Ashley Stroline, you know, it's rare that a franchise gets an opportunity like this, so I can tell the team, the fans are savoring it as it happens. Ashley, thank you. All right. Turning now to your forecast. Brittany joins us right now with a look at how things are shaping up for your Friday and the weekend as well.
It's looking a lot better, Ben. So today we're not going to be completely rainy like we were Wednesday, Thursday. In fact, check out this live picture. Yep, so this is live. Little thing in the sky shining bright. The sun has been a while since we've seen it. A few clouds mixing in, of course, too, but the Kannapolis camera looks absolutely great out there. Cannonballer's not at home today, but the Knights are at Truist Field, and we are going to be tracking a small chance for a few storms then, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Up toward the mountains, I'm watching a few areas of rain likely going to develop for those areas by about 3 o'clock. But across most of the metro, I mean, we have a small window of opportunity for a few pop-up storms and then again this evening. But for the most part, we're really not going to be dealing with a lot of activity. Winds today out of the southwest, keeping us nice and toasty, mid to upper 70s, which is one of the warmest temperatures we've seen all week. Tomorrow going to be even warmer. Now, with some of our daytime heating, now that the sun is out, we do have a low risk overall for a few pop-up storms becoming strong to severe. Primary impacts here, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and even some moderate sized hail. That's about 1/4 of an inch, about an inch is the threshold there for a severe thunderstorm warning to be issued. But something else you're going to notice today after this morning's rain and the rain over the past 2 days. Yesterday we got almost 2 inches at the airport. Actually feeling a little bit better with those pollen levels today. But just as quickly as they go down, they're going back up Saturday into Sunday. So what about the long range forecast here for pollen levels? We know they get higher when we're dry, when we're warm. When do those conditions return for maybe more than just a day, like what we're going to see on Saturday? I have that full look at the week ahead coming up.
Well, lanes are back open on I-77 after a car crash this morning. Take a look at your screen. You can see how backed up the highway was this morning. Officials say this happened on I-77 South near Brookshire Freeway. They say multiple cars were involved in the accident. At this time, we don't know if any injuries were reported.
Guardrails are along every highway in North Carolina, but some are potentially dangerous because of the way they're installed. Officials calling these types of guardrails Frankenstein guardrails. That's because they are assembled with mismatched parts. The Department of Transportation says they're working to give additional training on how to properly install them.
After years of debate, taxpayer dollars will soon go toward private school tuition in South Carolina. Governor Henry McMaster says he will sign the bill into law that will help parents pay for a private education. The proposal passed its final hurdle in the House yesterday. WCNC Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard has the story.
Well, this means South Carolina families who are eligible could receive $6,000 vouchers for private school tuition or other education expenses. South Carolina House members passed a private school voucher bill, which gives public dollars for some private school education.
And we give parents the option and the choice to send their children to a learning environment that they choose.
The education scholarship bill will allow families who make up to $100,000 to be eligible for private school vouchers. While many would be eligible, only a small number of vouchers would be available, with just 5,000 vouchers offered in year one and about 15,000 offered in the third year.
We kept our commitment to public education, to teachers, and now we're giving the options to parents.
South Carolina lawmakers say new voucher recipients would be limited to students who attended public school the previous year. While Democrats and some educators are opposed to the bill, saying it will drain funding from public schools, it has now made it to the governor's desk, one signature away from being signed into law. Reporting for WCNC Charlotte, I'm Tradisha Woodard.
Well, it could soon be illegal to deny employment to somebody who refuses to get their COVID shot in North Carolina. A new measure recently passed the State House this week. Beginning next year, the state's public schools, community colleges, and universities would also be banned from the mandate. Private schools and businesses, they could still require the shot if they want to. The bill now heads to the state Senate. Coming up, Panthers fans celebrating the team's newest quarterback. We're taking a look at some quarterbacks because our Verified team looking into what a first-round quarterback pick means for the Panthers.
And Panther fans, Bryce Young, look, he's landed. He is on his way to Bank of America Stadium. On the left, that's exclusive video from WCNC Charlotte of him landing. On the right, that is video from the Panthers' perspective that they just dropped on social media. We are so excited to have him here in Charlotte. Richard Devane live at Bank of America Stadium as he gets ready to walk the blue carpet in front of all those Panthers fans. We'll bring it to you live right here on WCNC Charlotte.
Severe thunderstorms have all types of different impacts. You've got tornadoes, you've got hail, you've got wind, you've got lightning and rain. So it's just not one impact. It's a multitude of impacts that could really affect your life on any given day.
We do it all at Closets by Design. Closets, garage, home office, and more.
Take 40% off, plus get 12-month financing and free installation. Call 1-800-BY-DESIGN or visit closetsbydesign.com.
In pain? Call Shane.
980-999-9999.
It's what people in Charlotte do when they're hurt in a wreck.
Injured in a car wreck? Call me, Shane Smith. You can talk to a lawyer right now for free.
Late last night I woke up sweating in my bed. Old air conditioner, it was completely dead. So I called Morris Jenkins and they very kindly said, you'll have cool air at your house tonight.
It's time for your check and wash.
We'll check your Freon to make sure it's ready for summer.
Then we'll wash your outside coil.
Let us check and wash your AC first,
so it's ready for summer.
Call Morris Jenkins. Join WCNC Charlotte for the Goodwill Day of Giving, Saturday, April 29th at the Ballantyne East location from 8 till 2. I'll be donating clothing and some household items, all to help Goodwill's free career training. See you there on the 29th.
My name's Christina Bissett, and I'm an attorney at Morgan & Morgan. A lot of the times clients will call in and they're scared and stressed. They don't know what to do. It's our job to step in and really show them how easy it truly can be.
With Morgan & Morgan, the process in general, very easy.
Morgan & Morgan, my attorneys, they made the whole accident process a lot easier for me.
I could be in a different state, and for me to just do this, click this e-sign, I'm like, okay, it's easier than you think.
If you're injured and you don't know what to do, go to forthepeople.com.
Closets by Design does more than organize your home. Maximize space, plus add beauty and value to your home.
Take 40% off, plus get 12-month financing and free installation. Call 1-800-BY-DESIGN or visit closetsbydesign.com.
You get one beautiful life to live. Jenna doesn't stop till it's sold. We have this circle of women that love each other. This is a moment we're in right now. This is really electric. Love ya. I love you too.
Shaking his head.
Welcome back. Get excited right now. Bryce Young in Charlotte, about to walk the blue carpet and be formally introduced to the Panthers.
That's right. We've been listening to during the commercial break. Richard Devane live there outside the stadium with the latest. Richard.
Let's do this together. Hey guys, we are waiting. They're prepping the crowd for this big arrival. They're getting everyone ready. As you can probably hear, the PA addresser has introduced a couple of players. I know they are getting ready. Listen out. They're getting us ready. He wants everyone. We'll let you listen in.
You have your pockets.
Okay, here's what's happening. They're getting ready. They've already announced that they are having the owner, David Tepper. You can see it. Well, let's see what we've got. I can't see from this vantage point. We're back over here trying to get all of these angles for you, but you can see everyone's quiet now because they know we're just a few moments away. There's the clapping coming, and it's going to build up. They're starting to cheer, getting ready for that magical moment, folks.
When I say give me 2 fast claps, I want you to give me 2 fast claps. Ready? Give me 2. Give me 2. Give me 2. Give me 1. Give me 1. Give me 1.
They are amping up the crowd.
3. Oh, that sounds so good. All right. Nicole, Dave, you've never been better. Thank you.
Okay, as they continue to get ramped up for this, we'll tell you a lot of folks are very excited. They're actually doing a Q&A and giving out some little gifts. We can tell you a couple of players are here who are going to also be welcoming Bryce Young to the Carolinas. Fans excited. We know a little bit. He's going to come down this blue carpet and he's going to bang on the drum. We hope to have all of that for you here when it happens live. If not, we'll have cameras. We'll be taking it for you. And then he'll spend time with some of the fans. And then he's going to meet some of those PSL, those lucky PSL folks a little bit later. But there will be a press conference, and our own Ashley Stroline is in that press conference. Of course, just stay with us. We'll have more. Guys, let me send it back to you. I don't know if you can hear me, but we're sending it back to you.
We can hear you, and I know everyone at home's noticing our photojournalist is trying to just get that best vantage point view to see.
You've got to be forgiving.
Yes.
Shooting this video with a crowd around you is not always the easiest scenario. All right, Richard, keep us posted. We'll come back to you as soon as we see something there. Well, with the Panthers using that coveted first pick of the draft to get Bryce Young, our Verify team looked into how commonly is a quarterback picked for that first spot. WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg went to the experts to break down the probability.
The NFL draft has been held every year since 1936. The Panthers got their chance this year to pick first, so we wanted to know, is quarterback the most frequently picked position for the #1 draft pick in the NFL? Our sources, NBC Sports Chicago and Jim Zoki with Carolina Panthers Radio Network. NBC Sports compiled a list of the #1 picks since 1936. Quarterback is the #1 picked position, with it being chosen first 34 times. Running back was second with 23. Defensive lineman is #3 on the list with 16. Zoki says quarterbacks are usually the #1 pick because it's a complex position that's really needed to make a team great.
It's the most important position to any team, and it has become the hardest position to find on top of that. So that's why a lot of times in the draft, you'll see teams really go out of their way to try to find that next great quarterback for their team.
14 #1 draft picks have made the Hall of Fame. Of those 14, 3 were quarterbacks. So we can verify that, yes, quarterback is the most frequently picked position for the #1 draft pick in the NFL. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Now for a look at your WCNC weather forecast. Live pictures right now over Uptown Charlotte. It's down on the streets where all the activity is happening at this hour. Up in the sky, though, you can see some clouds out there. Brittany joins us right now with a look at your Friday and also your weekend forecast. And it looks like it's going to be sort of a mixed bag.
You're absolutely right, Ben. Do you think that people are more excited the sun is out or for Bryce Young? I'm going with
It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up after the rain we've seen.
I know, and I feel like our Panthers fans were really dedicated last night, staying out in the rain, right, during the draft party. But thankfully, we're getting a little bit of a break now for Bryce Young's arrival. You can see clearing conditions in a few spots, Monroe over toward Kannapolis, a little bit of cloud cover for Dallas. It's going to be one of those afternoons where we're mostly cloudy now in a few spots, partly sunny later, but then more clouds will build in eventually by Sunday. So we're going to enjoy those little pieces of sunshine while we can. Clear conditions now across our Doppler radar locally, but you can see up toward the mountains, a few little sprinkles here and there. We are really not going to see a widespread opportunity for rain the rest of your Friday. The majority of our activity was those storms we had earlier this morning. Now we're just seeing a break at times. We'll see a few spurts and sprinkles here and there. One round mainly to our north around 3, 4 o'clock, and then a second right around 5 p.m. But again, it's going to be very few and far between. Hour by hour forecast, you can always get the latest update, not just here, of course, on TV, but online as well with our WCNC Charlotte mobile app. You can also track some of this activity, which will be primarily north of the I-40 corridor as we get closer to 3 and 4 p.m. You can kind of see a little bit of activity here locally. That's why I'm keeping our Charlotte Metro rain chances between about 20 to 30%. That looks to temporarily clear out. And then we have that second little line trying to make its way closer to our area as we get closer to about sunset. But for the most part, again, you can clearly see no widespread rain in the forecast for the rest of your Friday. Now, although the storms themselves are going to be scattered in nature, we do have the opportunity for some heavy rain at times, frequent lightning, and even gusty winds. Those are going to be primarily risk here. Hail threat is pretty limited, isolated over an inch, which is about a quarter size. Nothing like the severe weather that we've had throughout the show, especially in areas like the Midwest and Florida just a few days ago. They saw some tennis ball sized hail. That is not the case here. And this will be primarily for our entire region. Tomorrow, no localized risk for severe weather since we don't have storms in the forecast Saturday. But check out Sunday. A small little sliver of our area will be tracking a chance for some storms, and that's with our next storm system rolling in. So Saturday, a great day to be outside, kind of sandwiched between two messy days as we had rain this morning and then more rain on the way for Sunday. So tomorrow, 81 degrees. At times it'll be mostly sunny, but for the most part, we are talking partly sunny conditions. It won't be a bad day at all to get outside. Later in the day, more clouds build in, and that'll set us up for Sunday. Sunday looks to be similar to today, where we saw a lot of rain and storms in the morning, and then a few opportunities for maybe just some scattered activity early in the afternoon, and then clearing conditions by the second half of the day. And that'll be with our next storm system rolling in. So here's that high pressure system overhead for Saturday, keeping us dry, and then here comes that big old storm system from the south and west on Sunday. It will be a messy start to the day. I'm not going to, split hairs on that, but we will get better throughout the afternoon and then set us up for a great week ahead. Many folks planning on being outside next week. Of course, it's the Wells Fargo Championship here in the Queen City, and I really do think next week's forecast is going to blow this week's forecast out of the water. Monday, Tuesday, check that out, upper 60s, lower 70s, a lot of sunshine. We're back in the low to mid 70s Wednesday, Thursday, pretty much exactly where we should be this time of year, with no rain in the forecast for the first few days of the week. Long range, it does look like that trend will continue through at least Friday too. So after a really messy week, Wednesday and Thursday were honestly just disgusting. Ben and Sarah, I think that next week is going to hopefully make us forget about this one.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Well, in your consumer headlines, Gap Incorporated says they're laying off about 1,800 corporate employees. Gap owners, other brands like Banana Republic, Old Navy, and Athleta. This comes as the retailer continues to struggle cutting costs and adjust to customers' needs. Last September, Gap slashed 500 corporate jobs between its brands.
A new survey says more people are turning to buy now, pay later options to get their everyday items. Researchers found about 46% of people have used the pay later option this year. It typically is on items like clothing, furniture, electronics, and even groceries. The payment plan can also be used for services as well.
Coming up, a new bill could allow for safe haven boxes in Florida, but some people are pushing back, saying this is inhumane.
And as we go to break, live pictures right now over Bank of America Stadium. Panthers fans still waiting on the arrival of Bryce Young. We know he's now in town. I think he's probably near the stadium at this point. We'll check back in with Richard Devane coming up after the break.
The Carolina Chevy Storm Tracker, only on WCNC Charlotte.
My work injuries seem complicated.
After you're hurt at work, if there's a battle, it's often between you and the insurance company, not your employer.
I knew who to call. The law offices of James Scott Farron.
Get the advantage.
I got the medical treatment I needed, and I still have my job.
If you need work done around the house, it can be hard to find a reliable contractor around here. They're juggling jobs, they won't call you back. Well, if you need windows or doors, Renewal by Anderson's reliability is one of the many reasons thousands of local customers have trusted us. As the replacement window division of Anderson, we've removed the typical contractor from the equation. Our certified master installers are respectful of your home, and they clean, I mean really clean, when they're done. Okay, so you want a price. Other companies might give you a wild guess at a price over the phone. We just don't think that's ethical. We'll visit your home, see exactly what you have, and then give you an exact price quote. And we'll honor that price for a whole year, so there's no pressure.
We had been through the let's go the cheapest route we can and try the big box store, and it ended up badly for us. We didn't want a repeat of that. We wanted somebody that we could trust, somebody with a quality product so they would last.
Before the end of the month, buy one window or door and get the next one 40% off. That's 40% off. And our financing can help make this project more affordable. Get no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. For a free appointment with Renewal by Anderson, call 980-498-9100. That's 980-498-9100.
Yep, we've got you covered. Sell, buy home loans, OfferPad can help you do it all. In fact, we can bundle everything for you. Sell this home, buy your next, and include a home loan. You could save thousands.
Can you tell our son he needs to find his own place?
You made me. I am your son. Do you even love me anymore? Who's going to make me breakfast?
No matter what your real estate need is, OfferPad can help you with literally almost everything. OfferPad, your all-in-one way to sell, buy, mortgage a home.
You've been hurt on the job and you can't work.
I need that check, not just part of it.
You've got bills that need to be paid.
I knew to call the Hurt Line.
You'll get answers to your questions, and the call is free.
I got my benefits, and I still have my job.
That's the James Scott Farron advantage.
Well, right now, a new rule in Florida would let fire stations and hospitals install safe haven boxes for parents to surrender and put their babies in without interacting with anyone. But it's not coming without pushback. Some say this is inhumane and babies shouldn't go in the boxes. NBC's Godwin Gavas has more.
You sure you want to do this? Yeah. Just hurry, please.
These ventilated and climate-controlled infant safety devices allow mothers to surrender a baby without human interaction. Monica Kelsey founded the organization that makes the boxes, already found in 10 different states.
When a mother walks up to the baby box and opens the door, an immediate 911 call goes out. When she places the newborn inside, a second alarm is tripped. When she shuts the door actually locks, so the baby can only be retrieved from the inside of the firehouse.
Under the current safe haven law, mothers can surrender infants at fire stations and hospitals by handing the infant to a trained professional who can provide resources.
It allows a mother to surrender her baby, 7 days old or less, to a hospital or fire station with a direct transfer without fear of prosecution and with guaranteed anonymity.
Finding a safe place for mothers who need to give up their child is growing more urgent, with North Dakota and Florida the latest states to pass restrictive abortion laws after the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade. Joel Gordon from Safe Haven for Newborns says over the years the organization has helped more than 6,000 mothers, yet they oppose the baby boxes.
The baby box idea creates a level of distress for that new mother. There's no contact. The baby could be sick, the baby could be abused, the baby could be trafficked.
But Monica argues existing devices around the country have already saved 28 newborns.
I'm not telling every woman to utilize our baby box. That's the last thing I want. But what I want is these babies that are being left in dumpsters and trash cans to have a safe place to fall.
Ultimately, the proposed change would allow mothers.
We interrupt that story because we want to bring you these live pictures outside Bank of America Stadium where Bryce Young is arriving, expected to speak in 30 minutes. We have crews there and we'll be checking in. As you can see, a large crowd now gathering to welcome him on his first trip to Charlotte as a Carolina Panther.
Yeah, we'll bring it to you live again on air and online. You can download the WCNC Charlotte app as well. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here Monday morning for another edition of Wake Up Charlotte.
And there you have it. Looks like the odds makers had it right. Carolina selecting Alabama quarterback Bryce Young with that #1 pick, and you can see the fans were pretty excited about that.
Yes, they were. The Panthers chose the 2021 Heisman winner over other highly rated quarterbacks like C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and Will Levis. So what's next? Well, tonight we are answering that question with the live team coverage from everywhere that matters. Our sports director, Nick Carboni, joins us live from Kansas City, Missouri, the site of the draft.
And our Ashley Stroline is live at Bank of America Stadium, where the front office and the fans have been celebrating since that pick was made just a few hours ago. We're going to start in Kansas City with Nick Carboni. So, Nick, we know team leaders had said previously they had a consensus, really just for the past few days, but the fans have been waiting to hear it announced for a while now, a few months.
And you got a chance to speak with Bryce. Should fans be excited?
I think so, guys, especially the way he carries himself and what he did at the college level. But let's go back to Friday, March 10th. That was the night we stood on the floor of the ACC basketball tournament when the Panthers made this massive trade. Since then, 48 days have passed. 48 days of wild speculation, reports, rumors, shifting Las Vegas odds. Even Bryce Young told me tonight that he didn't know he was coming to Carolina until he looked down at his phone in the green room here in Kansas City and saw the 704 area code. Bryce Young, #1 pick of the Carolina Panthers. Bryce, congratulations. When did you know? This has been 48 days of guessing for everybody in Carolina.
Yeah, I knew when, I looked at my phone 5 minutes before and saw a Charlotte number. It was a whirlwind of emotion, being able to talk to the entire staff. And, that's something I'll cherish forever.
What did Scott Fitter, Frank Reich, David, and Nicole Tepper tell you over the phone when they picked you?
They were just talking about how excited they were for me to get down there, for us to get to work. I echo the same sentiment. This is a huge honor. I'm going to enjoy this moment and this night. I'm drafted to do a job, to come in and to work. I want to, do everything that the organization asks of me, and, I'm ready to get to work.
The Panthers are saying that Bryce is right in Charlotte. I don't know how you feel about that, but anyway, what do you want the people of the Carolinas to know about Bryce Young, the person and player?
First and foremost, I'm a man of God. That's how I try to live my life in all aspects, and I want to exemplify that on the field as well, and do everything I can to help the organization. I can't wait to get into the building. To get close with the team and continue to be coached by the coaches that are there and the entire staff and the entire building. I'm super anxious, super excited, and again, I'm going to give my all to the franchise.
Bryce, have a safe trip home to Charlotte tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Charlotte now home for Bryce Young, the future of the Carolina Panthers franchise. He's gotten a lot of high praise from some Panthers legends. We'll hear about one of those coming up tonight in sports. But for now, on how this pick was made, why it was made, and for more from who made it, we're going to send it to Bank of America Stadium, where Ashley Stroline has been live all night. Stro?
Yeah, Nick, well, I think everyone made the assumption that Bryce Young knew he would be coming to Carolina well before the Panthers were on the clock tonight. But Panthers general manager Scott Fitterer told us that simply wasn't the case. They didn't let Bryce or his agent know ahead of time that they would be selecting him with their #1 overall pick. In fact, it was David Tepper who picked up the phone and made that call. And Tepper told us he simply asked Bryce, hey, are you ready to trade in Sweet Home Alabama for some sweet Carolina? The answer was yes, as you just heard there in that awesome interview. In that one-on-one with Nick Carboni, Bryce excited to be here in the Queen City. And for this Panthers front office and coaching staff, the reason as to why it was Bryce over the other guys, well, he simply continued to impress with each meeting.
Throughout the process, he checked every box that we had. We tested him, we talked to him, we had dinner with him, and just every time we met with him, we felt more and more convicted. And we liked all the guys, but Bryce was a guy that we really felt strongly about.
So you guys knew that pick.
All right, so Bryce will head to the Queen City, where he is in for quite the day tomorrow. He'll be greeted with fans outside of Bank of America Stadium. When he arrives, he'll have his introductory press conference with us, and then he'll get settled in and get ready to study that playbook and be a part of this Panthers organization for hopefully years to come. And as for the Panthers front office, well, they'll be back in the war room because round 2 of the NFL draft starts at 7 o'clock.
All right, well, he's proven himself on the field in college. I'm looking forward to seeing how he carries himself here in the community as well.
Let the fun begin.
Yes. All right, Stro, thank you.
And yes, so the front office is definitely excited, as we heard there. Ida Siegel once again with that sweet story. Let's go ahead and turn our attention to the news at 6 here. We start with tonight's Where's the Money report. That disastrous rollout of expensive new technology in North Carolina courts now has the attention of state lawmakers. The House Democratic leader is backing down a bit from last week when he called for a full-blown investigation into the e-court software, but says he's still keeping a close watch.
And as WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden tells us, he is concerned about state taxpayers having to pay even more for an already expensive mess.
We've been hearing it for weeks.
And I don't mean to sound alarmist, but this is bad.
Now the House Democratic leader is admitting he's hearing complaints too.
I've had lawyer after lawyer, judge after judge, clerk after clerk, prosecutors, just everybody just frustrated.
The new e-courts technology rollout in Wake and 3 surrounding counties has been a mess. The administrator of the courts, or AOC, told us 2 weeks ago there had already been more than 350 glitches. So late last week, the House Democratic leader called for an investigation into e-courts, but Representative Reeves now says he's holding off for now after a conversation with the AOC.
I believe AOC and I are completely on the same page. I've actually told the speaker to say, look, let's hold off. We can hold off for now. I really have been happy with their response. And these folks just want to get heard.
But he admits some of the issues, like people reportedly being held in jail for days after their case was dismissed, are troubling and could be costly to taxpayers.
I'm always worried about lawsuits. They've been in the news a lot. You don't want to have lawsuits, but more importantly, you don't want people impacted.
He's also aware that the $100 million price tag isn't paying for all the troubleshooting, and someone is going to have to pay out more money.
I have no idea how much it would cost, but it is my hope that it won't cost us more money. I think that a lot of the issues that need to be resolved are issues that the company's going to have to resolve. And I'm hoping that they're going to work, and I think AOC is going to work hard to make sure they help resolve those.
He says he's glad the planned launch in Mecklenburg next month has been delayed, and he hasn't heard when it might actually happen. But he's against the calls to scrap the new technology altogether.
Saying that, you've got all kinds of problems and scrap it, well, that's not realistic. What is realistic is saying these are specific issues that we have. Please tell us that they can be fixed, how they're going to be fixed, and when they're going to be fixed.
Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.
And if you're keeping track, Michelle's been covering this story at length here. For more details and a full look back at her previous reporting of this court software, go to WCNC.com/money and find those links there.
Also tonight,
with your help, WCNC Charlotte is making a difference in our community.
We want people to know it's okay to ask for help.
We are the guardrails to some of these families who are struggling.
We get to present a check for $5,000 via the Techna Foundation.
These people give up their heart and their time, and they don't get anything but thank yous in return.
If you'd like to make a difference, go to WCNC.com/make-a-difference now.
After years of debate, taxpayer dollars will soon go towards private school tuition in South Carolina. The governor says he will sign a bill into law that will help parents pay for a private education. Wake Up Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard joins us now live. And Tradisha, the proposal passing its final hurdle in the House yesterday.
That's right, Ben. That means South Carolina families who are eligible could receive $6,000 vouchers to pay for private school tuition or other education expenses. South Carolina House members passed a private school voucher bill, which gives public dollars for some private school education.
And we give parents the option and the choice to send their children to a learning environment that they choose.
The education scholarship bill will allow families who make up to $100,000 to be eligible for private school vouchers. While many would be eligible, only a small number of vouchers would be available, with just 5,000 vouchers offered in year one and about 15,000 offered in the third year.
We kept our commitment to public education, to teachers, and now we're giving the options to parents.
South Carolina lawmakers say new voucher recipients would be limited to students who attended public school the previous year. Now, some Democrats and educators are opposed to the bill, saying that it drains from public school funding. Right now, the bill sits on the governor's desk, one signature away from being signed into law. Reporting live for Wake Up Charlotte, I'm Tradisha Woodard.
All right, Tradisha, thank you for that. Meanwhile, the battle over school vouchers also unfolding here in North Carolina at the General Assembly. This weekend on Flashpoint, we'll break down the proposal and speak to two people on both sides of the issue. That's all coming up Sunday at 11 a.m. right here on Flashpoint. Well, with the Panthers using the coveted first pick of the draft to get Bryce Young, our Verify team looked into how common is it to pick a quarterback in that first spot. Well, Wake Up Charlotte's Megan Bragg went to the experts to break down the probability.
The NFL draft has been held every year since 1936. The Panthers got their chance this year to pick first, so we wanted to know.
DJ, give me a little something.
And joining them, probably the most proudest people here, Bryce's parents, Craig and Julie Young.
You know what we rehearsed earlier? You know what we're ready to do? We're ready for this moment. If we can get a clear shot. Come on up and join us, please. This is everybody. This is family. This is family time. You guys will go right over here, man. Right over there. Please, you'll be right in the seats. Don't hurt your mom and dad with this. Hey, Bryce, we just want to say welcome to your family. Thank you for joining us. We want to say welcome to the Panthers family. And welcome to the Carolina Panthers, sir. Thank you so much. There's one thing left for you to do. Hit this thing as hard as you want 4 times. I would back up. Let's make some clear room for this man. Here we go. Fans, you know what to do.
Wow, this is still super surreal for me. I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you for all the support. This means the world to me, to my family. This is a huge honor, a huge blessing, and I'm excited to get to work. Thank you guys.
Bryce Young!
Everything that's in our way. This is our moment, gotta own it. Yeah, great job, Panthers fans. Thank you so much. Great job. We will see you in August. Riley, great job, buddy. Miguel, right back at you. Great job. Thank you, man. These yellers, don't forget, have your reception points. We will see you there.
And there you have it. Looks like the odds makers had it right. Carolina selecting Alabama quarterback Bryce Young with that #1 pick, and you can see the fans were pretty excited about that.
Yes, they were. The Panthers chose the 2021 Heisman winner over other highly rated quarterbacks like CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and Will Levis. So what's next? Well, tonight we are answering that question with the live team coverage from everywhere that matters. Our sports director, Nick Carboni, joins us live from Kansas City, Missouri, the site of tonight's draft.
And our Ashley Stroline is live at Bank of America Stadium, where the front office and the fans have been celebrating since that pick was made just a few hours ago. We're going to start in Kansas City with Nick Carboni. So, Nick, we know team leaders had said previously they had a consensus, really just for the past few days, but the fans have been waiting to hear it announced for a while now, a few months.
And you got a chance to speak with Bryce. Should fans be excited?
I think so, guys, especially the way he carries himself and what he did at the college level. But let's go back to Friday, March 10th. That was the night we stood on the floor of the ACC basketball tournament when the Panthers made this massive trade. Since then, 48 days have passed. 48 days of wild speculation, reports, rumors, shifting Las Vegas odds. Even Bryce Young told me tonight that he didn't know he was coming to Carolina until he looked down at his phone in the green room here in Kansas City and saw the 704 area code. Bryce Young, #1 pick of the Carolina Panthers. Bryce, congratulations. When did you know? This has been 48 days of guessing for everybody in Carolina.
Yeah, I knew when, I looked at my phone 5 minutes before and saw a Charlotte number. It was a whirlwind of emotion, being able to talk to the entire staff. And, that's something I'll cherish forever.
What did Scott Fitter, Frank Reich, David, Nicole Tepper tell you over the phone when they picked you?
They were just talking about how excited they were for me to get down there, for us to get to work. I echo the same sentiment. This is a huge honor. I'm going to enjoy this moment and this night. I'm drafted to do a job, so to come in and to work. I want to, do everything that the organization asks of me, and I'm ready to get to work.
The Panthers are saying that Bryce is right in Charlotte. I don't know how you feel about that, but anyway, what do you want the people of the Carolinas to know about Bryce Young, the person and player?
First and foremost, I'm a man of God. That's how I try to live my life in all aspects, and I want to exemplify that on the field as well, and do everything I can to help the organization. I can't wait to get into the building. To get close with the team and continue to be coached by the coaches that are there and the entire staff and the entire building. I'm super anxious, super excited, and again, I'm going to give my all to the franchise.
Bryce, have a safe trip home to Charlotte tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Charlotte now home for Bryce Young, the future of the Carolina Panthers franchise. He's gotten a lot of high praise from some Panthers legends. We'll hear about one of those coming up tonight in sports. But for now, on how this pick was made, why it was made, and for more from who made it, we're going to send it to Bank of America Stadium, where Ashley Stroline has been live all night. Stro?
Yeah, Nick, well, I think everyone made the assumption that Bryce Young knew he would be coming to Carolina well before the Panthers were on the clock tonight. But Panthers general manager Scott Fitterer told us that simply wasn't the case. They didn't let Bryce or his agent know ahead of time that they would be selecting him with their #1 overall pick. In fact, it was David Tepper who picked up the phone and made that call. And Tepper told us he simply asked Bryce, hey, are you ready to trade in sweet home Alabama for some sweet Carolina? The answer was yes, as you just heard there in that awesome interview. In that one-on-one with Nick Carboni, Bryce excited to be here in the Queen City. And for this Panthers front office and coaching staff, the reason as to why it was Bryce over the other guys, well, he simply continued to impress with each meeting.
Throughout the process, he checked every box that we had. We tested him, we talked to him, we had dinner with him, and just every time we met with him, we felt more and more convicted. And we liked all the guys, but Bryce was a guy that we really felt strongly about.
So you guys knew that pick.
All right, so Bryce will head to the Queen City, where he is in for quite the day tomorrow. He'll be greeted with fans outside of Bank of America Stadium. When he arrives, he'll have his introductory press conference with us, and then he'll get settled in and get ready to study that playbook and be a part of this Panthers organization for hopefully years to come. And as for the Panthers front office, well, they'll be back in the war room because round 2 of the NFL draft starts at 7 o'clock.
All right, well, he's proven himself on the field in college. I'm looking forward to seeing how he carries himself here in the community as well.
Let the fun begin.
Yes. All right, Stro, thank you.
And yes, so the front office is definitely excited, as we heard there. Ida Siegel once again with that sweet story. Let's go ahead and turn our attention to the news at 6 here. We start with tonight's Where's the Money report. That disastrous rollout of expensive new technology in North Carolina courts now has the attention of state lawmakers. The House Democratic leader is backing down a bit from last week when he called for a full-blown investigation into the e-court software, but says he's still keeping a close watch.
And as WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden tells us, he is concerned about state taxpayers having to pay even more for an already expensive mess.
We've been hearing it for weeks.
And I don't mean to sound alarmist, but this is bad.
Now the House Democratic leader is admitting he's hearing complaints too.
I've had lawyer after lawyer, judge after judge, clerk after clerk, prosecutors, just everybody just frustrated.
The new e-courts technology rollout in Wake and 3 surrounding counties has been a mess. The administrator of the courts, or AOC, told us 2 weeks ago there had already been more than 350 glitches. So late last week, the House Democratic leader called for an investigation into e-courts, but Representative Reeves now says he's holding off for now after a conversation with the AOC.
I believe AOC and I are completely on the same page. I've actually told the speaker to say, look, let's hold off. We can hold off for now. I really have been happy with their response. And these folks just want to get heard.
But he admits some of the issues, like people reportedly being held in jail for days after their case was dismissed, are troubling and could be costly to taxpayers.
I'm always worried about lawsuits. They've been in the news a lot. You don't want to have lawsuits, but more importantly, you don't want people impacted.
He's also aware that the $100 million price tag isn't paying for all the troubleshooting, and someone is going to have to pay out more money.
I have no idea how much it would cost, but it is my hope that it won't cost us more money. I think that a lot of the issues that need to be resolved are issues that the company's going to have to resolve. And I'm hoping that they're going to work, and I think AOC is going to work hard to make sure they help resolve those.
He says he's glad the planned launch in Mecklenburg next month has been delayed, and he hasn't heard when it might actually happen. But he's against the calls to scrap the new technology altogether.
Saying that, you've got all kinds of problems and scrap it, well, that's not realistic. What is realistic is saying these are specific issues that we have. Please tell us that they can be fixed, how they're going to be fixed, and when they're going to be fixed.
Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.
And if you're keeping track, you know Michelle's been covering this story at length here. For more details and a full look back at her previous reporting of this court software, go to WCNC.com/money and find those links there.
Also tonight,
with your help, WCNC Charlotte is making a difference in our community.
We want people to know it's okay to ask for help.
We are the guardrails to some of these families who are struggling.
We get to present a check for $5,000 via the Techna Foundation.
These people give up their heart and their time, and they don't get anything but thank yous in return.
If you'd like to make a difference, go to WCNC.com/make-a-difference now.
After years of debate, taxpayer dollars will soon go towards private school tuition in South Carolina. The governor says he will sign a bill into law that will help parents pay for a private education. Wake Up Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard joins us now live, and Tradisha, the proposal passing its final hurdle in the House yesterday.
That's right, Ben. That means South Carolina families who are eligible could receive $6,000 vouchers to pay for private school tuition or other education expenses. South Carolina House members passed a private school voucher bill, which gives public dollars for some private school education.
And we give parents the option and the choice to send their children to a learning environment that they choose.
The education scholarship bill will allow families who make up to $100,000 to be eligible for private school vouchers. While many would be eligible, only a small number of vouchers would be available, with just 5,000 vouchers offered in year one and about 15,000 offered in the third year.
We kept our commitment to public education, to teachers, and now we're giving the options to parents.
South Carolina lawmakers say new voucher recipients would be limited to students who attended public school the previous year. Now, some Democrats and educators are opposed to the bill, saying that it drains from public school funding. Right now, the bill sits on the governor's desk, one signature away from being signed into law. Reporting live for Wake Up Charlotte, I'm Tradisha Woodard.
All right, Tradisha, thank you for that. Meanwhile, the battle over school vouchers also unfolding here in North Carolina at the General Assembly. This weekend on Flashpoint, we'll break down the proposal and speak to two people on both sides of the issue. That's all coming up Sunday at 11 a.m. right here on Flashpoint. Well, with the Panthers using the coveted first pick of the draft to get Bryce Young, our Verify team looked into how common is it to pick a quarterback in that first spot. Well, Wake Up Charlotte's Megan Bragg went to the experts to break down the probability.
The NFL draft has been held every year since 1936. The Panthers got their chance this year to pick first, so we wanted to know, is quarterback the most frequently picked position for the #1 draft pick in the NFL? Our sources, NBC Sports Chicago and Jim Zoki with Carolina Panthers Radio Network. NBC Sports compiled a list of the #1 picks since 1936. Quarterback is the number one picked position, with it being chosen first 34 times. Running back was second with 23. Defensive lineman is number 3 on the list with 16. Zoki says quarterbacks are usually the number one pick because it's a complex position that's really needed to make a team great.
It's the most important position to any team, and it has become the hardest position to find on top of that. So that's why a lot of times in the draft, you'll see teams really go out of their way to try to find that next great quarterback for their team.
14 number one draft picks have made the Hall of Fame. Of those 14, 3 were quarterbacks. So we can verify that, yes, quarterback is the most frequently picked position for the number one draft pick in the NFL. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
More Panthers coverage online and right here on WCNC Charlotte throughout the day. And folks, if you need something you'd like to have verified, just email us at verify@wcnc.com.
Verify, WCNC Charlotte.
Verify is all about trying to make a difference in the community by making sure that the community has the correct information. This is what we know, and hey, this is what we don't know. Sometimes you're actually surprised by the answer.
Verify the difference.
Verify is a great way to combat that misinformation, making sure that people know the process of the reporting.
Finally, here at 4:30, WCNC Charlotte teaming up with our local Goodwill Industries for an event this Saturday. It's the Goodwill Day of Giving, and that's where we're going to ask you to donate your gently used clothing and other items so Goodwill can then turn those donations into cash and continue to fund their mission. Our Larry Sprinkles showing us how Goodwill is helping people level up for a great career and so much more.
People's lives are changed every day inside the doors of the Goodwill Opportunity Campus on Wilkinson Boulevard in Charlotte. It's all part of what Goodwill of the Southern Piedmont offers to the local community.
It's a one-stop shop for individuals to come in, whether it's to get a job today so that they can make ends meet, find coordinated referrals to other nonprofit organizations to help with all those other elements, whether that's housing or transportation, health or otherwise, and to get enrolled in our training programs, which are in IT, customer service, and construction to help people launch new careers.
Samantha Story is part of the management team at Goodwill and answers a very common question. Exactly what happens to the money you spend getting all those great bargains at a Goodwill store?
Those donations are our lifeblood. That is what makes all of this possible, but sales as well. And every opportunity to make a purchase in our store makes a difference to fund this mission.
For people in this community, it means a positive life change and the goal to find rewarding employment.
They have a lot of things that you can get into, like classes for computers, jobs.
Donnie Armstrong is an instructor who sees this as a way to take a group of adult students and literally open the door to a successful job.
I work with Goodwill University, and we do have many that need to come to Goodwill to improve their skills or even gain skills for employment.
If you're a student, the educational process leads to a new career path.
The classes I'm taking now, Computers Essentials, it's basically the basics of learning how to use a computer, what the components of a computer are, and I really just like how they present the basics of it. It's very simple, it's very easy to understand, and it's really going to help me further my career in about computers.
Whether you're taking that step into a new career or getting a lot for the lowest price, Goodwill makes it happen for everyone. At the Goodwill Opportunity Center, I'm Larry Sprinkle. Back to you.
It's so great the things they're doing. For a list of the donations that Goodwill needs and also the items they cannot accept, visit our website, WCNC.com. Remember, the Goodwill Day of Giving is this Saturday at the Goodwill store on Camfield Street, which is just off of Ballantyne Commons Parkway. And that does it for the news at 4:30. The news at 5 is next.
Innocent moments of confusion. Now the latest chapter in America's gun violence epidemic. A wrong address, a wrong driveway, and a wrong car. The string of tragedies unconnected except by the fact that in each case someone had a gun and the will to use it. High school cheerleader Peyton Washington, the latest victim after a stranger opened fire on her and 3 friends in the parking lot of a grocery store outside Austin. The girls mistakenly approached the wrong vehicle after a late-night cheerleading practice. Police arresting Pedro Rodriguez Jr. In upstate New York, Kevin Moynihan pleading not guilty to murder and in jail without bail. He's accused of shooting and killing 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis. She was in a car that accidentally pulled into his driveway looking for a friend's home. Those coming after a Kansas City teen was shot after going to the wrong home to pick up his younger brothers. The 84-year-old suspect pleading not guilty Wednesday to 2 charges. He was released on a $200,000 bond. Missouri is one of dozens of states that have stand your ground laws in place. But what about North Carolina? Wake Up Charlotte's Megan Bragg looks into our self-defense laws in today's Verify Fact Check.
North Carolina is one of at least 28 states with stand your ground laws in place. For more on what this law means, we went to attorney Gary Monty, partner at Monty PLLC, and the law itself.
You're allowed to use deadly force, and I'll read it, if there's a reasonable fear of imminent death or serious bodily harm.
Under North Carolina's Stand Your Ground law, there are 3 places where deadly force can be used if you are scared for your life: your home, your workplace, or your car.
So someone comes into your home, it's presumed under the law of North Carolina that the person coming into your home without permission is there to do you harm. And so you are allowed to use deadly force.
But before you shoot, Monty says you need to have reasonable fear of death.
It has to appear to a reasonable person that someone is trying to come into your home unlawfully, breaking and entering, breaking your door down, trying to get into your car door.
Monty says you can't just shoot anyone.
You can't shoot the Amazon driver because he knocks on your door. You don't have a reasonable belief that that person is there to do you harm.
If what happened in Missouri happened here, you could also face charges the same way the suspect there is currently.
It would not cover you if it's just the proverbial or actual knock at the door from a salesperson or somebody that's lost and is coming to knock on your door.
The law also states if someone is walking away from your home, workplace, or car, you must stop trying to use deadly force once they are off your property.
They leave your property, they leave your home, then you've got to stop. You can't chase them off of your property. You can't get in your car and follow them and try and shoot at them. That's not permitted.
The law also states you can't open fire on a law enforcement officer or bail bondsman who is doing their job at the time. With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
We've had some storms move through our area. How we looking today and for the weekend?
Few storms today. First half of the weekend looks great. Saturday is going to be dry,
Good.
but then Sunday.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right.
That's
what
the
we can
easiest
get.
way to put it.
There you go.
Big thumbs down. But I think that after such a wet week, tomorrow being dry will just be a nice little change for a lot of folks. So as you see right now, yes, something we haven't seen in a little bit, right? The blue sky, the sun peeking through. A lot of beautiful conditions here from Kannapolis, Monroe, Dallas. I know after this morning you're thinking, oh, we're good to go. Well, not necessarily. We did have that first round earlier this morning, and man, did it pack a punch, especially between about 4 to 6 a.m. But now we're tracking kind of the residual effects as this front moves through. So on the west side of Tennessee, we actually have a little bit of rain moving in. That's going to first clip the mountains by later on this afternoon. But eventually we will see a small but limited opportunity for some local storms here in the Charlotte metro. So here we are by 3 o'clock. Again, you see some of that scattered activity. Notice some heavy rain at times, some pockets of really heavy rain, frequent lightning, and even gusty winds. They're going to be less noticeable here across the Charlotte metro, but we will see a few. I do think a lot of this storm activity is going to stay pretty much northern Mecklenburg County north, so pretty much I would say I-85, kind of the dividing line here. And then after about 9 p.m., everyone is dry. Heading into your Saturday, again, we are good to go. We will see some clouds at times, but also a lot of sunshine. So with some of these afternoon thunderstorms, especially for areas north up toward the mountains and foothills, you can expect gusty winds, some localized flooding, and even the chance for some small hail. But we're talking hail about a quarter sized, nothing near tennis ball size, like what Florida was dealing with just a few days ago. So if you have outdoor plans this evening, Knights have a double header because of their game yesterday was postponed due to rain. The first pitch is 5:35. The second one will happen right after. Again, we will have to monitor for a few storms, especially around 3, 4, 5 o'clock, but I really think it's going to be a very limited potential. Temperatures upper 70s for first pitch, eventually falling into the upper 60s and eventually overnight we will drop into the 50s. It will be a relatively comfortable evening in terms of some drier air moving in, but we will still watch a few clouds. And if weather holds off, which it looks like it will, fireworks, of course, expected after the game. Tomorrow, a different story. It literally will feel like we have been transformed into a different world based on 60s, clouds, and rain earlier this week. We're talking 81. At times, we will be mostly sunny, but on average, we're partly to mostly cloudy by the second half of the day especially, and we're warming up. High temperatures right around 81 degrees. But Sunday, a different story. We are going to start off with a lot of rain and thunderstorms, and then by the afternoon, things should start to clear out. So here's kind of the progression. We have front number 1 finally moving through on Friday. High pressure builds in temporarily in front or behind that first front ahead of the next one. And then as this one moves through, again, Sunday morning primarily, we'll track pockets of heavy rain, widespread rain and storms at times, and then eventually that will last into the early afternoon. So today, we will, of course, watch the potential for storms. Completely dry on Saturday. Night's first pitch on Sunday is at 1:05. Things could get a little bit dicey around that time frame, but then we dry things out. And then check out next week. I mean, the timing here, right, wasn't great this week, but great next week for the Wells Fargo Championship. Practice rounds early in the week. We're talking upper 60s, lower 70s. And then by the second half of the week, Wednesday, 73 degrees, mostly sunny. That sounds great to me. 75 on Thursday with a lot of sunshine so far for the first day of regularly scheduled programming there with that tournament. So the weather for next week looks a lot better, and your guy briefing 7 days. So I would say after this week, those 4 dry days in a row are going to be a very nice change. And as we look at the 10-day forecast, Sarah Ben, it does look to be dry heading into Friday too.
WCNC Charlotte.
Weather is a kind of science that you get to see and experience every day. And I think some people don't even realize how much it affects them. That weather has a huge impact on how it threatens your family, your livelihood, or your home. So I think it really is one of those defining things we do that really affects everybody in our community.
See the difference.
That process of giving you a warning ahead of time and keeping you and your family safe is really important to me because I live here too. It's my family, it's my friends, it's my neighbors.
New at 6. In life, sometimes we have setbacks, and for a Charlotte family, the word cancer changed their lives forever.
But tonight, 9-year-old Cameron is doing well, and thanks to Make-A-Wish, he was able to make a once-in-a-lifetime trip, reliving his favorite movie. WCNC Charlotte anchor Sarah French takes us along for the ride.
Cameron was a totally healthy kid.
Cameron's parents, Robert and Clary Gray, say they received the shock of a lifetime when their son turned 7.
He started getting very bad headaches that we couldn't find the cause of. And we eventually found that he had a brain tumor.
While Cameron had the tumor removed successfully here in Charlotte, his tumor was the kind that spreads.
Luckily, Cameron fit into a trial at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis.
Cameron had to receive 2 months of radiation and 7 months of chemotherapy before returning home. And that's where Make-A-Wish stepped in, just in time for the 1-year anniversary of Cameron returning home.
I picked to do what they did in Home Alone 2 because it's my favorite movie.
And Cameron wanted to do exactly what they did in the movie.
So in the movie, Kevin McAllister gets a limo ride with cheese pizza. And so we got a limo ride, and we had the cheese pizza in it. And we went to FAO Schwartz also.
All the kids come into the store and play with all his toys.
This is a really fun part. We went and got a sundae bar. We stayed at the Plaza Hotel where they stayed at in the movie.
This is a vacation.
It was beyond magical. There were some good, happy tears. For sure. I'd like to kind of think that all the hardship that we went through made us stronger as a family. And I think it's true. And it's not like it's magically easier once you get back. Cancer's gone and treatment's over and you're back in school. But it's a journey and we're all stronger for it, don't you think?
Yeah.
The family says Cameron is doing well. He's finished with his treatments and there's no evidence of cancer. And they are just so thankful to Make-A-Wish for giving their family an unforgettable trip with memories they will cherish forever. For WCNC Charlotte, I'm Sarah French.
A student at South Meck High School is getting the trip of a lifetime. This football superfan is heading to the NFL draft red carpet. He's right there right now. The surprise doesn't end there. WCNC Charlotte's Shea Morrison has more on his big day.
Through applause, cheers, and pats on the back, this high schooler received a welcome huddle fit for a first-round draft pick. Hundreds of South Mex students welcome Robert Short into this auditorium to send him off on a dream trip of a lifetime.
How many people say they've gone to the NFL draft?
Now Robert can. CMS and Dream on 3 are granting the South Mecklenburg High School student a free trip to the NFL draft in Kansas City, Missouri.
It's a nonprofit organization, and what they do is they choose a student with a life-altering condition, and they grant them their sports dream.
Students fundraised and gave the popular teen who lives with Down syndrome a proper send-off.
He's very charismatic. He's not, everyone knows him. They want to, be his friend, want to be around him because he makes people, smile.
After the pep rally, Robert made his way to this stretch limousine and off to the airport. Shamaria Morrison, WCNC Charlotte.
Oh. All right, so by the way, Robert is an aspiring sportscaster, and he's certainly well on his way for it.
An update to a story we brought you last week. We introduced you to CMS student Caden and his family. The family was told he would be moved to a new school against their wishes. But we're learning tonight, after our reporting, CMS has changed its mind. Caden's mom, Jordan Wren, says he'll stay in his classroom for the rest of the school year. She calls this a win. She says since our story, she's received dozens of messages from strangers across the state with children who have special needs sharing advice on how to approach the district. She says CMS still plans to move him to a new school come August, but is working to stop that too.
Now to connect the dots when we make the news make sense. In just a few hours, the ticket lottery opens for the Synchronous Firefly Show at the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. And there's a reason it is the hottest ticket in town.
Fireflies are mating and creating a beautiful display in the process. Let's connect the dots. Fireflies are a staple of summer nights here in the Carolinas. Their flashing lights help light up the night sky, and it's all to help grow their population. The lights are actually a part of a mating display. Male fireflies flash their lights while females usually stay stationary in response. But it's a display that only lasts 3 weeks out of the year. It's all based off of temperature and soil moisture. And this year, experts say 1 week will be the most popular of them all. The Great Smoky Mountains offering its annual firefly viewing opportunity the week of June 4th, when mating season reaches its peak. And that is connecting the dots.
What is Near Me? If you see breaking news, just open the WCNC News app and go to Near Me on the bottom right. Tap Share with us, upload a photo or video, and tell us about what you saw. Hit Submit, and once you see success, your news has reached WCNC Charlotte.
Give the house a deep clean, because we've been talking about this, the spring cleaning.
That's true.
Sorry, I know this is less fun, but you have to do it, right? So you're not replacing things. Just clean what you have.
That's right. WCNC Charlotte's Carolyn Bruck is here with the often overlooked things in your home you need to add to your spring cleaning list here. What things should we be looking out for here, Carolyn?
Well, listen, I know that we went from super fun, exciting things talking about that to cleaning.
This is important.
But this is important stuff, and trust me, you're going to want to do it. So these are 4 more items to add to that spring cleaning list. This is something we don't think about. Those reusable shopping bags, right? You take them to the grocery store, you unload your stuff, and then you bring them right back to the car. Well, this is how you need to clean those. Wash cloth bags, so the cloth or canvas bags, put them in the washing machine on hot. And the advice really is, if you want to be 100% safe, is to get rid of all the ones that you can't wash.
Never heard that.
Because there could be some stuff lurking. Yeah, prevent food poisoning and other illnesses. I mean, think about some of the stuff that you put in the bags. You can't clean it. It's a problem. The dryer vent. This one, they're saying just hire a pro to clean it, or you could, get crafty and use a skinny brush with a long handle to try to pick the lint out from it. The reason why is because you're going to want to prevent a potential fire. You don't want it to be because you just didn't. And this is not the dryer, the filter.
In the front of the dryer.
No,
right.
This isn't like the thing that you're supposed to
deep inside.
This is like inside the machine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's why they say hire a pro to do that. Your mattress. When's the last time you cleaned that mattress? So here's what they say to do. Strip all the bedding. Then you're going to want to vacuum it. Get into all the cracks and crevices. Wow. Deodorize it. So put some baking soda on it. Let that sit for a little bit and then vacuum it again. And this is gross. Why do you need to clean it?
Oh no.
To get rid of bacteria coming from your skin.
Yeah.
Saliva. I didn't want to write the other thing, so I just wrote
thank you.
And worse.
Right. Well, we are human,
We are. And we are disgusting sometimes. So just, all of us are. So clean it. Speaking of disgusting, kitchen sponge, those things are gross. And you hear people saying, oh, put it in the microwave or put it through the dishwasher. And
just let it die.
No. AARP is saying throw it out for goodness sakes. And here's why. You want to prevent illness. There are all sorts of species of bacteria living and lurking in that sponge. So just start with a clean slate and get a new one. So here are some items to add to that spring cleaning checklist.
Only cost a couple cents too, right?
It's right.
Sponge is sitting in that sink. Let me die. Just let me
My
die,
sponge was staring at me knowing this. I was like, I got to throw it out. Sorry.
Right. You had some good stuff last 2 days, man. I've learned a lot about cleaning, so I think my wife's going to like it.
I'm here for all of you.
Yeah. Carolyn, we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I was serious when I was.
Well, a local teen who has always had an interest in cooking and dreamed of owning her own business, now making those dreams a reality. She is also hitting the road to share her passion with others.
On a nice day in the Carolinas, food trucks aren't hard to find.
I'm going to try and do my best sauce I can. Maybe a mixture of something would be nice.
But this isn't your average food truck.
How old are you? 13.
That's right. Vivian Detali is just 13 years old. She's had a passion for cooking for a long time, so to her, a food truck seemed like the obvious way to put her skills to practice. That's when Vivian's Rockin' Concessions was born.
When I started to cook, I realized how fun it was and how I'd like to see the smile on other people's faces and how they would love to see a 13-year-old especially making food and how unique that is.
On the menu, homemade Rockin' burger sliders and Italian chopped cheese, her own recipes.
I just took the ingredients I used and I was just like, put this and that, put this and that. I used my seasonings and then I used my buns and then I used my meat. And I was like, this is really good. This is going to be my recipe. All of this she's doing on her own dime with some help from mom and dad. I mean, they're the reason I have this food truck because obviously I can't buy anything on my own. I obviously need them to buy the license plate and all that and drive me places. So it's all thanks to them that I'm really doing this.
Vivian says all of this is just a taste of what's to come.
I really hope that in the future I will be remembered as a kid that started her own food truck, and that's going to be like my cue to where I started, and people are going to remember that and say, wow, she's been working this since she was 13. That's actually pretty awesome.
And we're saying wow right now, not even in the future. All right, well, the truck's grand opening will be at Camping World in Statesville on May 5th and 6th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
When it comes to WCNC's chief meteorologist Brad Panovich, our viewers tell the whole story.
Hey, if you're new to the area, this meteorologist is awesome.
I always stick with Brad Panovich when it comes to severe weather. He's rarely wrong.
You should follow Brad if you don't already. He's usually right on the money with his forecast.
I don't look at anything else besides what Brad says. We are fortunate to have him here.
Brad Panovich. Experience the difference with WCNC Charlotte weather.
Now to a troubling trend, stranding a staggering number of drivers nationwide. Experts say more Americans are skipping out on their car payments, many to the point of repossession. NBC's Maggie Vespa joins us with the tips on how you can avoid falling behind.
In the shadow of Motor City, Detroit area mom Dawn Hurley's daily lifeline hangs by a thread.
How many days a week do you need this car?
7.5.
Every day. Every day and then some.
Yes.
Yeah.
After months unemployed during the pandemic, Hurley, who drives her kids to school each day, then travels for her new job in pharmacy operations, is $1,000 behind on car payments and on the list to have her car repossessed.
Have you had to choose between car payments and other bills?
Absolutely. I've had to choose to have my rent late.
All the while knowing she could wake up any morning to find her car gone.
Have you lost sleep over this?
Oh, of course.
That nightmare, a reality for a surging number of families nationwide. After tumbling at the start of the pandemic, the rate of American borrowers dubbed severely delinquent, or at least 60 days overdue on their car payments, is up nearly 18% from a year ago. That same rate for subprime borrowers, up 40% in the last 2 years. Repo agencies say the impact is obvious.
The number of cars referred to you by the banks to get repossessed has tripled?
Correct. It's all about inflation. You know, the price of fuel, price of food, and a lot of the customers can't keep up with their car payment and feed their family.
Especially given climbing car prices, the average monthly new vehicle payment hitting an all-time high of $730, many boosted by rising interest rates.
Most Americans need vehicles. We know that. They have to get from A to B. And not only are there not a lot of affordable options, there's also not a lot of affordable loans.
Auto experts' advice for those struggling to make payments: reach out to your lender, ask about a grace period or loan restructuring. Finally, don't buy cars based on monthly payments.
Buy it based on the price and save as much cash as you can to put down on the car. Borrowing money costs money.
Tips to try and curb a troubling trend that's leaving more families running on fumes. Maggie Vespa, NBC News, Detroit.
When did you know what you wanted to be?
Hey, Mom, the weather's on!
WCNC Charlotte's chief meteorologist, Brad Panovich, always knew what he was meant to do.
All right, don't forget your umbrella.
In fact, he joined the American Meteorological Society when he was 13. Now Brad is all grown up. You can see him right here on WCNC Charlotte, making sure you're informed and safe.
Hey, where did all my hair go?
Experience the difference.
We've had some storms move through our area. How we looking today and for the weekend?
Few storms today. First half of the weekend looks great. Saturday is going to be dry,
Good.
but then Sunday.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right.
That's
what
the
we can
easiest
get.
way to put it.
There you go.
Big thumbs down. But I think that after such a wet week, tomorrow being dry will just be a nice little change for a lot of folks. So as you see right now, yes, something we haven't seen in a little bit, right? The blue sky, the sun peeking through. A lot of beautiful conditions here from Kannapolis, Monroe, Dallas. I know after this morning you're thinking, oh, we're good to go. Well, not necessarily. We did have that first round earlier this morning, and man, did it pack a punch, especially between about 4 to 6 a.m. But now we're tracking kind of the residual effects as this front moves through. So on the west side of Tennessee, we actually have a little bit of rain moving in. That's going to first clip the mountains by later on this afternoon. But eventually we will see a small but limited opportunity for some local storms here in the Charlotte metro. So here we are by 3 o'clock. Again, you see some of that scattered activity. Notice some heavy rain at times, some pockets of really heavy rain, frequent lightning, and even gusty winds. They're going to be less noticeable here across the Charlotte metro, but we will see a few. I do think a lot of this storm activity is going to stay pretty much northern Mecklenburg County north, so pretty much I would say I-85, kind of the dividing line here. And then after about 9 p.m., everyone is dry. Heading into your Saturday, again, we are good to go. We will see some clouds at times, but also a lot of sunshine. So with some of these afternoon thunderstorms, especially for areas north up toward the mountains and foothills, you can expect gusty winds, some localized flooding, and even the chance for some small hail. But we're talking hail about a quarter size, nothing near tennis ball size, like what Florida was dealing with just a few days ago. So if you have outdoor plans this evening, Knights have a double header because of their game yesterday was postponed due to rain. The first pitch is 5:35. The second one will happen right after. Again, we will have to monitor for a few storms, especially around 3, 4, 5 o'clock, but I really think it's going to be a very limited potential. Temperatures upper 70s for first pitch, eventually falling into the upper 60s, and eventually overnight we will drop into the 50s. It will be a relatively comfortable evening in terms of some drier air moving in, but we will still watch a few clouds. And if weather holds off, which it looks like it will, fireworks, of course, expected after the game. Tomorrow, a different story. It literally will feel like we have been transformed into a different world based on 60s, clouds, and rain earlier this week. We're talking 81. At times, we will be mostly sunny, but on average, we're partly to mostly cloudy by the second half of the day especially, and we're warming up. High temperatures right around 81 degrees. But Sunday, a different story. We are going to start off with a lot of rain and thunderstorms, and then by the afternoon, things should start to clear out. So here's kind of the progression. We have front number 1 finally moving through on Friday. High pressure builds in temporarily in front or behind that first front, ahead of the next one. And then as this one moves through, again, Sunday morning primarily, we'll track pockets of heavy rain, widespread rain and storms at times, and then eventually that will last into the early afternoon. So today, we will, of course, watch the potential for storms. Completely dry on Saturday. Night's first pitch on Sunday is at 1:05. Things could get a little bit dicey around that time frame, but then we dry things out. And then check out next week. I mean, the timing here, right, wasn't great this week, but great next week for the Wells Fargo Championship. Practice rounds early in the week. We're talking upper 60s, lower 70s. And then by the second half of the week, Wednesday, 73 degrees, mostly sunny. That sounds great to me. 75 on Thursday with a lot of sunshine so far for the first day of regularly scheduled programming there with that tournament. So the weather for next week looks a lot better, and your guy briefing 7 days. So I would say after this week, those 4 dry days in a row are going to be a very nice change. And as we look at the 10-day forecast, Sarah Ben, it does look to be dry heading into Friday too.
Now to a significant development in the special counsel's probe into former President Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election and his role in the January 6th insurrection. Former Vice President Mike Pence testifying before a grand jury yesterday. It comes as he weighs in on a possible 2024 presidential run. WCNC Charlotte's Bree Jackson now in Washington with the details.
Last month, a federal judge ordered former Vice President Mike Pence to comply with a subpoena and testify, which former President Trump tried to appeal. However, earlier this week, that appeal was rejected. A dramatic development in the investigation into attempts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Former Vice President Mike Pence testifying against his old boss, former President Trump. Pence allies say he has nothing to hide.
He was pretty explicit in his book and wrote about it pretty extensively, and so there really shouldn't be any secrets there for people anxious to know what it is he would testify.
Trump, who is running for president again, responded to the news.
Mr. President, what do you think of Mike Pence testifying today?
Oh, I don't know what he said, but I have a lot of confidence in him.
This comes as Pence weighs a run for the White House. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley already declared her candidacy.
If you vote for Joe Biden, you really are counting on a President Harris, because the idea that he would make it until 86 years old is not something that I think is likely.
President Biden unveiled his bid for re-election Tuesday and is focusing on issues.
Look, let's protect our children from gun violence, keep lowering the prescription drug cost, let's protect Social Security and Medicare.
Potential voters are bracing themselves for the political battles ahead.
It's way too soon for that. It seems like we just came out of the last one.
If it's a rematch with Trump and Biden, that just confirms that we're living in a dystopian hellscape nightmare that I cannot escape from. It's kind of like Groundhog's Day, except not funny.
The race for the White House is already heating up. And today, President Biden holds an event with top Democratic donors. As you may recall, back in 2020, the Biden campaign shattered fundraising records by becoming the first to ever raise more than $1 billion. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Our draft coverage continues here on WCNC Charlotte. We're taking a live look at the stage in Kansas City. We know Nick is down there somewhere where the Panthers' #1 overall pick will walk across the stage, shake the commissioner's hand in a little over 2 hours. I really can't believe we're here now.
We're here. Yeah. I love to see this picture. I don't know, something about that picture that we just took makes me get hyped up even more.
I think a lot of people are excited, right? Especially when you're talking about the draft as an event. It's come a long way since it was first televised in 1980. Now, according to the NFL, it's grown each year and expanded to its current 3-day format in 2010.
And so, of course, with the Panthers making this first pick tonight, it's going to be really extra special for Carolina fans. And as we might suspect, several watch parties are planned around the Queen City, which is great to see. WCNC Charlotte's Jane Monreal is joining us live from Slingshot Social Game Club in South End, talking about one of these parties. So are they planning for a big turnout, Jane?
You know it, Vanessa and Colin. It's a big night here, of course. Doors are now open officially for Panthers fans to walk in. You got to start with the drafts. Drafts on tap, 40 of them here on draft night. And you start with that cold beverage. Fans are just coming in. Saw those folks there at the bar. Woo, keep pounding. Yeah. Okay, back to the game zone here. We've got skee ball, and I just locked myself in. I blocked myself in this place is huge. So go over there. I'm going to go to the duck pin bowling here with my manager, Savion Martin, who's going to do some bowling here on team Keeping It Real, Monreal. It sounds okay. It sounds all right, right? But Tavon says that, you know, draft night, sure, it's great for business, but tonight goes beyond draft night.
Not even Charlotte, but the Carolinas just grabbing the #1 pick, like, that was huge for us. Us being one of the local bars that support them so closely.
Several businesses around the area expecting big business tonight that they hope will carry into the NFL season. Public House in Uptown serving comfort food and a full bar for almost 2 years, also hoping to capitalize on Charlotte's growing sports scene.
When the Panthers did play this season, we had a lot of Panthers fans that come after the game. So, you know, we just don't have anything especially planned for it. But if people come and they're ready to have a good time, we'll have all the TVs on the draft set up for it. Maybe people will get out and just kind of be excited about it, you know, and try to figure out what's going to happen. And, you know, that could be interesting.
Get an idea. You're drinking beer.
We can just have you, like, to the outside.
All right. Well, hey, it's my turn to hit here. Not too bad there, Savion. Let me see if I can get the, what do you call it? Oh, not too bad. Too shy of the spare. That's all right. But, you know, it's going to make you hungry. Kitchen's open, Savion says, and other businesses say it would help if teams start winning. That would make a difference. But here tonight, games are going to be played all night. And get your seat early, get your drink on, have a great time, and it's going to be a great night here. We're live in Charlotte. Jane Monreal, WCNC Charlotte.
You killed that, Jane.
I would have been a gutter ball, Jane.
I know.
Glad you got the invite, Jane. Thanks so much.
In the gutter. I'd be in the gutter.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun night, I think, for a lot of folks.
I am so excited. So yes, everyone's still wondering. Everyone is still bringing that excitement all around the Queen City.
Yeah. Many
social media.
Yeah, many people weighing in, of course, on the WCNC Charlotte Twitter page here. So Bryce Young, by and far the top choice from Panthers fans. Of course, we want to keep hearing from you. I've obviously had my take over the last couple of weeks, but it seems like all fingers and all eyes are pointing to Bryce Young. But we'll see. Obviously, there are 3 other names on that board. You can see C.J. Stroud pulling 17.1% of the vote there on the draft. Anthony Richardson at the bottom. 7%. So we'll see where it goes tonight, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that's an overwhelming vote, you know.
The people have spoken, right?
For Young, we've been talking kind of in the commercial break about
right, who they're going to draft.
All the possibilities.
The new and improved WCNC Plus, now on Roku and Fire TV. Watch local live newscast, get extended breaking news coverage, and see local programs and specials. The new and improved WCNC Plus, now on Roku and Fire TV.
Well, the NFL draft is finally here, and we are all waiting to learn who the Panthers will officially take first overall and hopefully lead the team to future success.
And for some fans, today is so much more than football, and that includes Riley Pope, a Panthers superfan whose connection with the team and the players goes far beyond the field. And the team has taken notice, too, and given her a big surprise.
Our Ashley Stroline joins us from Bank of America Stadium to share her story.
Yeah, Fred and Vanessa, most fans dream of simply being able to meet their favorite player, but Riley has been able to become a part of the Panthers family, creating memories that will last her a lifetime. And draft day is no different, thanks to a special surprise.
For Riley Pope, Brian LaVisca, and Brandon Smith,
a picture is worth 1,000 words. Born into Panther fandom, she's always known she was going to bleed black and blue.
Literally every week.
Like I would always go to Fan Fest because we could get really close seats.
For years, she's been creating memories at the bank. And with every picture, she's capturing that special moment.
It's definitely crazy because like I said, I never would have expected to go to a game and go talk to players' family members, like Frankie Louvu and Brandon Smith and stuff like that.
Over time, her Panther pride has been noticed, forming relationships with players and their families. And her larger-than-life fatheads have been a part of that focus.
We have Frankie, Bozeman.
The players seeing them on the field and Riley loving their reaction, which hasn't always been the easiest to see.
I have nystagmus where my eyes basically move back and forth 24/7 and I can't see very far away.
The snapshots from the stands were a little blurry at times.
We could get game tickets for far away and I just couldn't see anything.
Now, she's got season tickets so she can see the action up close. But she's about to experience something in a different way.
The Top Cat coach called me down to the field and I was like, okay, what's happening? Like, I did not know what was happening.
The Panthers organization is providing a front row seat to the 2023 NFL Draft in Kansas City, where the team has the #1 overall pick. The picture from when she found out says a lot.
They surprised me and I was so shocked. Did not expect it at all.
A trip of a lifetime. Next to the guy that got her hooked. Her dad.
I get to be her +1, so.
She's gearing up to make more memories and could tell you 1,000 things she's ready for.
Definitely drafting the first pick. I'm very excited about that and being with Panther fans.
And some things she's hoping for, including what the team does with that #1 pick.
I definitely want it to be Bryce Young.
There will be more pictures like these to come.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, I wish we knew we were drafting because I would totally bring that back in.
I have finally made it to Kansas City.
Each with a new story. All right, so Riley's been texting me all day. She actually just got to the draft. She's so excited to be there, creating more of these memories like you just saw. And let me tell you, her and her father are so dedicated. They're at training camp, they're at Fan Fest, they never miss a game. And if you're really lucky, Riley might even give you some of your own bracelets like you see right here. She made ones with my name, Panthers. We got a crown for the Queen City. So thankful that Riley took the time to share her story with us. And now you can see the backstory of just how much it means.
You are watching a special report from WCNC Charlotte.
On the air right now with some breaking news. The Panthers formally introducing their #1 draft pick, Bryce Young. Let's listen in.
A lot of you identify who you are and the outlet you're with. We'll do that quickly, and then at the end we'll have an opportunity for a quick photo op with the jersey. So with that, I'll turn it over to Bryce.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys, everyone, for coming out. This is surreal for me. So I just want to say a thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Tepper, to Scott Fitter, and to Coach Reich, and everyone who believed in me. This is an opportunity that I don't take lightly. I don't take for granted, and this is a huge blessing. I'm super excited to get to work. I'm super grateful for my parents and everyone who made this possible for me. And again, I couldn't be more ecstatic to be a Carolina Panther, and I'm ready to get to work.
Guys, again, if you could raise your hand, we'll try to do our best to give you a shot. We'll go ahead and start with David.
Hey, Bryce, David Newton, ESPN.com. Today doesn't seem to fit your personality in a lot of ways. You seem like a very humble guy with a lot of excitement around you. What was that like for you when you walked got out of the car and drums were going, everything's happening around you?
Yeah, it was surreal to be able to see just firsthand the support that this organization has. For me, being new here, being a new member of the team, and to get that support from the fans and from all Panther Nation, it speaks volumes. So it was really surreal. I'm super grateful for all the fans that came out today, all the fans that came out yesterday, everyone who supported from wherever it is that they supported from. It means the world to me, and I'm super grateful to be a part of this organization.
We'll go to Will, Joe, and Pat.
Hey Bryce, welcome. Will Coughlin with Fox Charlotte here. What was last night like for you after everything kind of settled, when you either lied down or had a moment to yourself? What's going through your head?
Yeah, it was a whirlwind for sure for a while. After I was able to go to dinner with my family, and it was really great just to be around loved ones and be able to settle down a little bit. And I try my best in that time to reflect on everything and just the blessing and opportunity that being here is. I'm still I still feel a lot of emotions right now. It's still surreal. Everything's still really fresh and new. But I'm trying to live in the moment and embrace this process because I'm here right now and doing this. But obviously the next step is getting to work and doing everything I can to try to help this team out.
Hey Bryce, Joe Person with The Athletic here in Charlotte. Good to see you. There was a moment last night, I think it was right after CJ was taken too, and you guys had a long embrace. What was that moment like, and did you guys develop any sort of friendship during the process?
Yeah, CJ, that's my brother. I've known him since middle school. We've been close for a while, and it was really cool throughout this process to have someone who I was going through it with. That wasn't the only person. I was blessed to have other people and other teammates that also we were going through things at the same time. But we're working out together a lot. That's someone I'm really close with and have been close with for a while. And it was a big night for both of us, for everyone who was able to realize their dreams and accomplish that goal last night. And for us to be in the same room, the same building, for that, it was super special. So I'll hold on to that forever.
Hey Bryce, Pat Walter from WRAL in Raleigh. From here, how do you kind of go about winning over that locker room and leading this team?
Yeah, I want to do everything I can to earn the respect of my peers, of the guys in the locker room, everyone in the building. I'm super grateful for what's happened in my past and and for being selected where I was, but I know that doesn't entitle me to anything. It's on me to prove myself, to show up every day and work and earn the respect of the people around me, and that's something I'm looking forward to starting to do.
Let's go, Jerry, Vashti, Mike K.
Bryce over here, Jared Bell, USA Today. Welcome to Carolina in the NFL. Can you tell me a little bit of what you know about the Panthers coaching staff? Have you researched what Frank Reich did in terms of assembling that staff, and how do you think that support will help you in your development?
Yeah, I've definitely, I know very well about the staff, and I think that I've been able to talk to everyone in the organization, and it's so clear how much of a plan was behind it, from bringing in from Coach Reich, having the experience that he has, and building this staff that's been here, bringing in, helping to bring in and kind of mesh some offenses as well, with a lot of the stuff that they've done in the run game and pass game with play action stuff, and I'm obviously learning now the ins and outs of it, but I've been able to talk to everyone and to hear their philosophy, and I feel like it's an amazing opportunity for me just to learn a lot, to be able to grow, and I'm super excited.
To that end, just to follow up, Jim Caldwell in particular, and the track record he has with other quarterbacks, have you met him and got any sense of how you would work together with him?
Yeah, I've met him. We've had conversations. He was very involved in the process as well, and we've been able to have a lot of conversations about, again, his philosophy and the philosophy of the entire staff and collective. And again, for me, I feel like it's a great opportunity for me to learn, for me to grow. And this coaching staff is, they really stuck out to me honestly throughout this process. And even in the short times that I had in the visits here and the short meetings that we were allowed to have, I was able to learn so much in that short time, and now being able to be here 24/7 and this be my job, I'm super excited for the growth that I'm going to be able to have.
Thank you.
Josh Tiger with Carolina Blitz. Welcome to Charlotte. The draft process is one that's pretty strenuous. What did you learn about yourself during this time frame?
Yeah, I think I learned a really valuable lesson throughout this process. At the beginning, it was really weird not being in control of what was going to happen. There was so much movement throughout this process. There was so much that was out of my control, and I think early on I tried to put my energy in trying to figure out what was going to happen and trying to figure out what could I do, what can I do, and figuring trying to navigate all that, and through that I was humbled during that process and understanding that the stuff that I can't control, this big picture stuff in my life, like that's not up for me to decide. I don't leave my life. I let that up to God, and I think it was a big lesson throughout this process to take that step back, do everything that I can do, and try to do everything I can to control my circumstances, what I can do, but the stuff that I can't, it's up to God. And I think throughout this process, it being so long, there being so much that happened, it was a really big reminder of that for me.
Hey Bryce, Mike Kay from the Charlotte Observer. Welcome. Congratulations. Going into a quarterback room where you have a head coach who's played this position for several years, you've got a quarterbacks coach who's played this position for several years, you've got an offensive coordinator who played in the league. How does that wealth of knowledge help you from the standpoint of during the week prep, and why are you excited about working with a group that has this much experience?
Yeah, just like you said, the extensive knowledge for me, being a young guy in this league, I've never taken a snap, and I'm going to be around so many people who have had so much success and have been around so many, great quarterbacks, them and from other people they've been around. Like you said, it's just such a wealth of knowledge, and for me, I'm going to try to be a sponge and come in and soak it all in. I want to do everything I can to learn, obviously this system and the little intricacies that could, help me individually to come and help the team. I think, and it's not just on Sundays, but throughout the week, through preparation and their philosophies and how they view things, I'm super excited to start that deeper dive of learning all that. And, obviously they've been able to have a ton of success, and there's such a wealth of knowledge there, and I can't wait to do everything I can to learn from them.
We'll go Steve, Cam, Jamie back there. Okay.
Bryce, Steve Reed from the Associated Press. Welcome to the Carolinas.
Thank you.
Scott and Frank were telling us about, the pro day interview, and they asked you about your preparation. You talked for about 10 minutes on your preparation. I'm curious. Obviously, you're huge into football, but what does Bryce Young like to do away from football? What do you kind of do to chill, and what do you like to do?
Yeah, nothing too crazy. I'm kind of a homebody. I definitely like basketball a lot. So whatever it is, watching basketball or shooting around, whatever it is, that's something that I definitely enjoy. And outside of that, just chilling at home. I watch YouTube or Netflix or something. I'm someone who can just stay at home and chill there. So that's kind of something that helps me decompress away from football.
Are you the point guard when you're playing basketball too? So.
Yeah. Back in my prime, that was my role.
Bryce, Jamie Bull from WBTV here in Charlotte. Welcome to the Carolinas. Obviously, with all this comes expectations and pressure that goes along with it. I see your parents are here. Who in your life has prepared you to handle those pressures, and how have they done that?
Yeah, I think, like you said, my parents have been the biggest in helping me handle all the stuff that comes with everything. And I think a big focus that we've always had was putting our energy in what we can control, and whether it's expectations or circumstances, people's thoughts and opinions, that's stuff that's out of my control. And I think it's a privilege to have those, and that's the beauty of sports. People get to have opinions. You get to have that pressure, and there gets to be stakes, and I'm grateful for that. And I don't shy away from it. I embrace it. But at the same time, all I can do is focus on myself. Controlling what I can control, doing everything I can to put the work in, to put myself in the circumstances that I can to try to be successful. So that's where all my focus and energy goes, and that's kind of my philosophy with dealing with that stuff.
How eager are you to put all of this sort of stuff behind you and then get on the practice field?
Man, it's a long time coming for sure. I'm so excited to, this is, I'm blessed to have this process, and, it's once in a lifetime, but, it's been a long time coming to where now I know where I'm at. I can get my hands on a playbook and start talking ball with the coaches, and I'm super excited to start that.
Bryce, Cameron Wolf, NFL Network. You mentioned your relationship with CJ. You and CJ are the first two black quarterbacks to ever go 1 and 2. You include Ant, 3 in the top 10. What significance, if any, does that hold for you?
Yeah, no, that means a lot. Like you said, there's such a, throughout the history of this league, there's been such a stigma on black athletes and black quarterbacks specifically. And, I think that this is, I'm honored to be a part of this, this history, and me and CJ, going 1 and 2, and then, like you said, an Ant and 3 black quarterbacks going top 5, going top 4. It means a lot. It's something that I definitely, it definitely means a lot to me, and I'm super grateful for the people who blazed the trail that allowed this to happen. I'm grateful for them as well for allowing this to happen. But there's so many people that had to be overlooked and had to start at a disadvantage, and there's so much that happened to allow this, to come into fruition today. So I'm grateful for all the pioneers of the past that helped pave the way for me and for everyone who is to follow. And that's something that that, again, I take a lot of pride in. I'm super honored to be able to say that.
Gabe, Joe, Carla, figure out where we are.
So seeing Gabe McDonald from Fox Charlotte, also just seeing the fans and all the fanfare out there, just to have already that warm reception, just how did that make you feel, just being able to have that moment and also share with your family as well?
Yeah, it's surreal. Being here and being welcomed by the fans again. It shows just how strong of a fan base this is, and feeling that support, me coming in and obviously being new here, it means a lot to me. To me and my family, them welcoming us with open arms. I'm super grateful for it, and I just want everyone to know that I'm going to do everything I can in my power. They're going to get all out of me to do everything I can to help accomplish our team goals. But it means the world. It's surreal. I'm super grateful to be a part of this organization and to play for the fans that root for us.
Right. You have talked about your respect for Steph Curry. He's a Charlotte guy. Have you had a chance? Did you hear from him, or is there any chance that you guys will get to sit down and talk?
I hope so. Steph right now he's got a lot on his plate right now too. Obviously he's focused and locked in on the playoff series he's trying to win. But yeah, I'm well aware and definitely have a tremendous amount of respect for him as a player and as a person. Someone I definitely look up to. And yeah, I'm well aware of him being a part of the fan base. So it's super cool.
And do you know whether you'll wear number 9 here?
I'm not sure. We haven't gotten that far. Right now, it's I'm still trying to be in the moment, and I'm just super grateful to be here and to have this opportunity.
Carla Gephardt of Fox Charlotte. I'm sure you've had a lot of people reaching out to you, texting you. What was the most memorable moment or interaction that you've had since you were drafted last night?
Honestly, it was just getting that phone call and being able to share that moment with my parents and with my family. That's something you dream of, and it feels so, right when you start the process, it always felt like something that was so abstract and so far of actually being able to hear your name called and get that phone call and share that moment. And, for so long it felt, so hard to reach. And for us, it's a finally come to fruition yesterday. And to be able to have that moment with my parents and with my family there, it meant the world to me.
Guys, we're on a really tight time schedule, so I'm going to do 3 more questions. We'll go to Jalen, go to Daryl, and we'll finish with Brett.
Jalen Hill, Big City Metro. Bryce, what advice has Nick Saban given to you throughout this process? Did he call you yesterday, and what did he tell you?
Yeah, Coach Saban, he came yesterday. He was there in person and supported me and Will and BB, and everyone was there. And, I've learned so much from Coach, and really I think the biggest thing is just accountability, making sure that you hold yourself accountable, and whatever it is that your goals are, and whatever it is the standard that you set for yourself, to be accountable for that and to be consistent in that, and that's something that he holds himself to personally, and it was great for me to be able to see that firsthand and see him not just preach it but follow out on what he did day to day. So that's definitely something I'm always going to keep with me.
Bryce, Gerald Horowitz from the Queen City Nerve. You've been questioned about your size ever since you started playing quarterback, but I'm not sure if you've ever been asked this question before. How is your size actually an advantage for you?
Make my dad happy with that one. He's always wanted someone to ask that question. Honestly, I think for me, I don't know if he'll like this answer, but I always look at it as, I only know one way how to play the quarterback position. Like you said, been this size relative to everyone around me. So I don't really look at it as an advantage or a disadvantage. I think I would have to know another perspective to know that. For me, again, I try my best to focus on myself and be the best version of myself day in and day out. So for me, I know that size has been something that everyone wants to talk about, but I've never thought about it. Like I've never thought about, how am I gonna navigate this? What am I gonna do differently? I only know how to play it one way. So honestly, I've disadvantage, advantage, it's just me and how I know how to play the position. But thank you on behalf of my father. Thank you very much for asking the question.
That's great. We'll finish with Brett.
Bryce, you come here, you're extremely nice, and you seem like a little, like soft-spoken. How are you going to take control of the huddle? Do you yell have you yelled at your offensive linemen, people that are much bigger than you? Do you do that in the huddle or on the sidelines? How you can take control of it?
Well, first and foremost, I want to come in and try to my best to earn the respect of the people around me. What I've done in the past doesn't entitle me to anything. And, I have never taken a snap in NFL football. I haven't done anything. I'm around a group of pros who have been here, from, whether it's coming in with me or been here for a year or, beyond and are 10 plus years in the league. And, there's a lot that I can learn from them. And again, I want to establish that respect in how I carry myself and how I work. And, that's a task for me. And I'm super excited to have that opportunity to come in every day and try to earn the respect of my peers. And, I hope I can get there one day with being that leader. And, I think that, again, it's case by case. You have to understand what's best for the situation. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all solution for how to lead. You have to be true to yourself, but also have to know the people around you, build that rapport and know, what's best for the situation. And I'm blessed to be in this opportunity, and I'm excited to start that, to help to start build that rapport and start that process. Because again, I really want to come in and earn the respect, and I know that that's going to be a tall task because it's going to be a lot of people in this building that demand that respect. So I'm excited to start that process.
Great. Bryce, thank you. We'll do a quick photo op, guys. Bryce, if you'll step here. We'll have you take one next to the podium here, and then we'll stand.
And you have been listening to Bryce Young's first official news conference as a Carolina Panther. We're going to have more on Bryce Young's arrival in Charlotte and what's ahead for the Panthers in rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL draft. That all starts today at 4 p.m. You can also find complete coverage and all the information you need right now inside the WCNC app. For now, we're going to join Daily Blast Live, already in progress.
Rabbit holes, I think a lot of people have found out. So I think it's good to highlight some of the good folks because they win a lot too.
Yeah, I think you being a comedian and how you process like focusing on the negative to find the funny is how I feel when I hear from testimony teachers and experts on comeback stories. It's like these things seem and feel so negative, but there's a story, I call it a key. There's always a key to every story that someone can take and apply it to their own life.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
I find it more inspirational than negative or sad.
Yeah, it's like a video game. You get the key to the next level. It unlocks